Hey, it's Andrew Brown, and we are taking a look at app clients. And these are configurations within a user pool that interacts with one mobile or web app that authenticates with Amazon Cognito. Think back to when we were talking about OAuth 2.0 authorization flows. This is the client that they're talking about. When you want to talk to Cognito via the API, you're always going to be supplying app client ID. So you're always going to be basically creating a app client when you create a user pool. For each app client in your user pool, you can sign in your users with a combination of one or more flows. There are a lot of parameters for configuring an app client, but the two that I think are the most important to know in detail are explicit auth flows and allowed auth flows. So explicit auth flows are authentication flows that you want your user pool client to support, and allowed auth flows are grant types that you want your app client to generate. So let's take a look at those in more detail. So for explicit auth flows, we have the allow admin user password auth. This enables admin-based user password authentication. The setting replaces this older one. With the authentication flow, your app passes a username and password to Amazon Cognito in the request instead of using the secure remote password protocol to securely transmit the password. We have allow custom auth, so enable Lambda trigger-based authentication. And so, yeah, when you're trying to authenticate with something like API Gateway or other various services, this is what you're going to utilize for the flow. We have allow user password auth, so enables user password-based authentication. As flow, Amazon Cognito receives the password in the request instead of using the CRP protocol to verify passwords. Then we have allow user CRP auth. You can imagine what this is. Enable CRP-based authentication. Then we have allow refresh token auth. So enable auth flow to refresh tokens. So these are some of the flows. And the thing is that when you go to other CIAMs, they might have additional types of flows, or they might have totally custom ones. But these are the ones that Cognito User Pools provide to you. The other thing I want you to know about are the allowed OAuth flows. We have code. So it uses a code grant flow, which provides an authorization code as the response. This code can be exchanged for access tokens with the OAuth 2 token endpoint. We have implicit, issues the access token and optionally ID token based on the scopes directly to your user. We have client credentials, issues the access token from OAuth 2 token endpoint directly to a non-person user using a combination of the client ID client secret. To create an app client that generates the client grants, you must add client credentials as the only allowed OAuth flow. Sorry, there's a lot of words that trip me up here in this Cognito section, but you'll notice some of these terms come back to the section that we were talking about, the OAuth authorization framework. And so you can see that AWS is following that RFP with some of these things here. So that, again, just kind of ties back. So if you want to know more about that, you go read that document I talked about, okay?